do you gather and prioritize topics for your blog? You probably start with some research, and then you get new ideas left and right from readers or from your own experience. So how do you manage that? And how do you prioritize what you're going to write? Today, I'll show you how I manage my research keywords and my keyword ideas, and the tools I use to determine what stories we'll publish on the blog next. My name's Leslie, and I help professional bloggers grow their business consistently and with a plan. So let's jump into this. I use both SEMrush and AHREFS for research and management. I start with SEMrush when I'm doing research, and then I move my list to AHREFS for management and prioritization. If you don't have both tools, then you can just use SEMrush, the one tool I recommend bloggers all have access to. So let's jump in. In this completely fictitious example, I'm gathering as many keywords as I can for a new gear writer coming on board. I need a huge list because number one, I don't know how many of these terms will be workable for us in terms of volume, difficulty, and intention. So I want a big list to pick from. And second, I want my freelancer to have a large number of terms that he can pick from because I only want him to write about the topic that he's an expert on. He's been a gear writer for, let's say, 5 years, so knowing that's really hard, I'd rather just have a big list for him to cherry pick from. So if we're creating a list of, let's say, destinations, for example, and not gear keywords, then I can pick and choose based on my own experience. But that's not the case here. Either of these scenarios might work for you. Okay, so the first place I start is in SEMrush. And I usually go ahead and type in a keyword that's a really high-level topic of what I'm looking for. So in this case, hiking. And then I just start perusing the list. So if I have a gear writer set up, I probably want him to write hiking boots for men, maybe best hiking boots. Let's see here, hiking packs. Here's another permutation of that word, men's hiking boots. Let's see, Columbia hiking boots. Maybe, let's see, waterproof hiking boots. So this is just an example of how I might get some ideas. And when I get those ideas, what I do is add them to my keyword list. So I've got one set up here for my gear writer, and you'll notice there's 58 in there now. When I click this, it'll add them. So I've got 64. It doesn't add duplicates, so you've always got a unique list of ideas in that keyword list. Another way to get ideas into your keyword list is to leverage your competition. So in this, again, fictitious example, I'm using a real site, Clever Hiker, great gear reviews here, but I can copy their URL, put it into SEMrush, and see what they're ranking on. So here, I've sorted by traffic. I can see they're also ranking on, let's see, best hiking shoes for men, camping chairs. Let's see, there's another permutation, hiking shoes for men, maybe day pack, a backpacking checklist, that's a great one, best hiking boots, camp shoes, best hiking tents, backpacking tents, camping mattresses, so lots of good ideas here. So I might look through 3, 4, 5 different competitors or potential competitors or future competitors to see what they're ranking on. And I go through the same process. I would just add those keywords to the keyword list. Now, what you can do is go to the keyword manager and see all of your lists. And I've got this gear writer list opened up here. I'm going to refresh it so we can see all of those new items that we just added. If I'm only using SEMrush, this is probably, this is where I would stop. So it's still valuable information here. And what I could do is filter for the keyword difficulty. So let's see, my highest keyword difficulty is 75. So I'll go ahead and indicate that I only want to see terms that go up to 75 keyword difficulty. And then I'd sort by volume. And I'd start working down this list, looking at who's ranking in the top few result set for those terms, and see if that's a term that I think I could actually win based on what the intention is. And if I don't think I could win it, then I can remove it from the list, or I can add a tag that says, you know, that I'm not interested in looking at that one again, so that I can keep track of what I've actually already researched and what I haven't. So that's what I do. I work down the list, and then either as a writer, I'd begin writing based on the highest volume, Or if I was handing this off to a writer, I could send them this keyword list and say, hey, which one of these do you have experience on and can help write an article for? Before I show you the way I move from research to management, if you're finding this helpful, please subscribe to this channel where I share ideas just like this, just for bloggers every week. And you can also join our free Business of Blogging Facebook group. The link for that is below. Okay, let's dive into AHREFS. For those of you that have not watched my video on traffic potential, I'm linking it here. This is the primary reason I moved my list to AHREFS. The first thing I do after I filtered and sorted and wrote my tags, the first thing I would do is export this list to Excel. And I've done that here. So we'll see, here's the list in Excel exported. And then I can grab the keyword columns and copy it. And then I'm going to go to AHREFS. So now I'm in AHREFS in the Keyword Explorer, and I'm going to just paste those keywords into this list. And I'm going to get rid of that header term and run this search. And here's our result set. So this is the exact same list that we were looking at in SEMrush, but now we're looking at it in AHREFS. So I do the same process. The first thing I do is filter by keyword difficulty. So keyword difficulty in SEMrush and keyword difficulty in AHREFS are very, very different. My threshold in AHREFS is about 25. So I'll filter based on everything that's less than 25. And then I will sort by traffic potential. Traffic potential is a field that tells us the potential for traffic based on all the different long tail keywords that we might rank for when writing that article. And again, if you are interested in this video, I've tagged it once again right above here. But I sort by traffic potential, so we can see here, again, the Campfire Cooking Kit is at the top of the list. So this matches my difficulty, this matches the volume, this matches the traffic potential volume. All I need to do now is look and make sure that it matches the intention. Then I'll move to the next one, best water shoes, all down the list. So this is where I check, a final check based on traffic potential before they get added to our list. So once I've gone through all of these keywords, vetted them for the difficulty, traffic potential, and intention, then I can create a new list or add them to a list here. So I will add this to my working list. And now if I go back up to Keyword Explorer, I can see I have a working list of keywords that I'm writing for that I can continue to add to every time I have a bright idea, every time a reader gives me a new idea. I add it to this list. I know that as long as I filter on the keyword difficulty and sort by traffic potential, that I know exactly what I should be writing next. So in this case, I should be writing amusement parks in Ohio next, and then North Carolina waterfalls. So this is how I keep all of my keyword ideas, whether they come from research or readers or just my own bright idea in the middle of the night. This is how I keep them organized, and this is how I prioritize what I should be writing next or one of my writers.